What is it like being a Jamaican in Zambia? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, the founder of Jamaicans.com. And today in Jamaicans to the World, we talk to Denise, who has been living in Zambia for a while. Welcome, Denise. How are you?
I am good, Xavier. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, I'm thankful to you because I know it's a different time. We're in a different time zone at this point in time. And yes. So I know I probably have you up. I don't know how late it is there, but it's morning for us.
And it's afternoon first. I'm about 6 to 7 hours behind Jamaica.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Not
Or
too.
ahead of Jamaica, I should say, because it's afternoon here now.
All right. Well, not too bad. I'm here in I'm actually here in Florida, aka South Florida, Kingston 21, we call it. So my first question is this one: which part of Jamaica you come from?
Boy, Xavier, I'm a country girl. I come from Yorkton, St. Catherine. And maybe, well, for those, before this was before the North-South Highway. So Yorkton is that last community right at the foot of Mount Rasa before you start going up into the Mount Rasa Hills. A lot of people used to stop in Yorkton when they were going to Ochi to buy bread. That is where I'm from.
Okay. I'm a St. Catherine guy myself. I'm Portmore, you know.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
yes, good to have another St. Catherineite talking. And my other question is this one: which high school did you go to? I know we're passionate about our high school. So which one did you go to?
I am an immaculate girl, so went to immaculate.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So tell us a story. How did you get to Zambia? How did you end up in Zambia?
All right. That's it's a pretty roundabout route, but I work for a US organization that implements projects on behalf of one of the major donors, and I'm actually here heading an education project in Zambia. I think my route to Zambia has been a very interesting one. Zambia is not the first country that I've lived in on the continent, and work has taken me to all of these places. But the first place I lived was actually Ghana. Lived in Ghana for about 6 years, and then afterwards moved to Liberia. I lived in Liberia for close to 10 years, 9 going on 10 years. And then in 2019, I moved here to Lusaka, Zambia. So it's been work.
Okay. And how long have you been in Zambia on this particular project?
I've been here for about a year and a half. I moved in January of 2019. Yeah, so
Okay.
last year.
And how was the experience? You said you were in Ghana. How long were you in Ghana for?
Ghana was 6 years. Yeah.
Oh,
I lived in Accra, in the capital, also working on an education project. It seems that my passion is education. I actually worked with Heart Trust when I was in Jamaica for close to 10 years. And so a lot of those skills that I learned back in Heart, I've actually applied to projects that I've worked on internationally since. So yeah, Ghana was 6 years. Then I met the love of my life, who is from Liberia, and decided, okay, if I can't get a Jamaican man, then I go and marry this Liberian man. And that was, yeah, that was 9 years in Liberia. He
oh,
claims he's Jamaican now, so that's a good thing.
you see, we do our own colonization ourselves, I guess.
Of course.
and and does he how interested is he in Jamaica? Has he been? Have you taken him to Jamaica yet?
Of course, we got married in Jamaica. Of course, he had to do the right thing and meet my mother and my family. He didn't do the African thing, so he didn't pay the bride price, which I still have him up for because I'm worth about 40 cows. Um, but again, that's a part of it. That's a part of the culture. It's not in the Jamaican culture, although my sister still demands the bride price. Probably he's been a couple of times, loves it. And Jamaica is very similar to West Africa and West Africa to Jamaica, both in terms of food, in terms of people. And so he does feel right at home.
Question: how do you like living in, what do you like the most, I guess, about living in I mean, you've gone a couple places, but Zambia, what do you like the most about Zambia, in your, I think you said about 2 years there? What do you like the most?
I love the animals, wild animals. I've never lived in another country where I've actually been able to see and interact with wild animals. I mean, of course, there are zoos and what have you. I like to joke sometimes and say that West Africans tend to have eaten all of their animals because bushmeat is a very popular thing there. But Xavier, it is not unusual to be driving on the road, especially outside of Lusaka, when you have to go to some of the provinces where we work, and you have to stop to allow elephants to cross, or you have to stop to allow antelopes to cross. And so I think coming from Jamaica, where I often laugh and say the biggest thing we have is a cow, just being able to see animals live in their natural habitat has been a mind blowing experience for me. And that's something that I really, really liked. Excepting for I think about 3 weeks ago when we went on a safari and we were attacked by an elephant. But we live to tell the tale. But that was a seriously scary time because normally they're quite placid, but we had gone at a time when this particular herd had babies, and it depends on where you go in terms of the national parks here. There's some national parks that unfortunately have had a really bad history when it comes to poaching. And so, of course, elephants are definitely in those situations. You don't try to get even close to them. There are other national parks where it hasn't happened as much. And so being able to interact with them is that much easier. But yeah, that was probably one of my scarier moments. And I am now respectful of them because you don't want anything that's over 5 tons to be chasing after you. But I think definitely the nature and the wildlife in Zambia is just absolutely mind blowing.
That is just totally fascinating that you're able to interact with elephants and so on. I mean, we're seeing them from a distance at the zoo, or and that's just fascinating that you're able to do that. You mentioned that there's a lot of bush meat or bush food. Yeah, I don't know if I have it right there.
Well, bushmeat, but bushmeat is not as popular in this part of the continent. It was more popular in Liberia. It was more popular in Ghana. But yes, it's not very popular, at least as far as I know, in Zambia. There's lots of other meats, of course, that we would normally eat anywhere, including in Jamaica. They have quite a large cattle growing group here. So beef is nice and easy. And I was just so happy to finally come and meet oxtail again. I can get oxtail quite easy. I think the only thing I miss in terms of that kind of food is our sea fish because Zambia is landlocked. So there is only freshwater fish, tilapia and bream.
Mm.
Um, you get everything else.
So, in terms of the bushmeat, have you tried any of what they call the bushmeat? Because the way I see it is this: you have your town fowl, and you have your country fowl, and the country fowl tastes really nice because the country fowl eat just about any scraps that it gets. And yes, the meat tough, the country fowl meat tough, right? But
Yeah.
any experience with bushmeat that you have had tried or anything?
Well, here in Zambia, for example, you will get village chicken, which is the same as our country fowl, and it is just as tough. But once it's prepared nicely, that's really cool. I think the most exotic meat that I have tried is crocodile. Actually, tastes quite good. I've also tried guinea fowl, which is which is a cut above chickens, I must admit. And I've also tried warthog as well, which is good. I tend to ignore, or I tend not to try the wilder ones. So, for example, in Ghana, depending on where you go, bats are popular. I'm not going to try no bats. And I remember there was a particular incident when I had just moved to Liberia and we were renovating the house. We kept hearing these noises in the roof. And so I asked the gardener, I said, look, get somebody to come and explore what's happening, because every night I keep hearing these noises and things. So it turned out that there were some cats living in the roof. So I tell him, all right, get somebody who can come take out the cat, them and thing. So a couple nights I still hear the same noise. So I sent back for the guy, and when the guy come, I said, look, the cats are still up there, we need to do something. He said, yes, madam, I will remove it immediately. The last one was so nice. No cat. One man's meat is another man's poison, but no, I think I am careful with where I venture to, Xavier. I'm not going to eat the more exotic type of animals, and I'm, again, not knocking anybody. There are tribes that will eat cats, there are tribes that will eat dogs, there are tribes here in Zambia that actually eat field mice, and they're well prepared, right? And clearly there's nutritional value, but yeah, it's just not my thing. And
well seasoned.
I'm not going to try it knowingly.
Okay, I see. I see what you're saying. No, I know when we as Jamaicans go abroad, and people are typically, curious. And, have you had and you have traveled, so it could be Zambia, it could be Ghana, it could be anywhere else you have been. But let's use Zambia for this example. Have you had that moment where somebody finds out that you're Jamaican, and what happens thereafter in terms of maybe a funny thing that they think it maybe? Tell me about that moment that you can remember.
My very first day in Zambia, I arrived at the airport and handed over my passport, and the immigration officer was just so excited. He said, boy, madam, this is the first Jamaican passport that I've held. And he started to tell me about all of the Jamaican music that he likes, and, Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and what have you. And he was just really, really excited. And then after a while, he kind of just lowered his voice and said to me, so it's true that them legalized ganja? So I said, yes, they legalized it, but I don't have any on me. But it's always funny just to see. Of course, there are the stereotypical things that people sometimes will think about Jamaica and you being a Jamaican. But the warmth, I think, when people see that passport, and when people start to just ask you questions because they simply want to know more about the country, it's really heartwarming. It's something that I really enjoy. I had another incident where the taximan said to me, so you come from Strange Town? I said, what? He said, Strange Town. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, the same place where Bob Marley come from. I said, no, you mean Trench Town? He said, yeah, man. So it's nice to see and hear what people have picked up over time and what they're interested in. But people are just blown away when they hear that I'm from Jamaica. And I think especially in Southern Africa, where there was just so much of our music that was about addressing the struggles in apartheid, I think that makes us appreciate it even more.
That's a very interesting point, because I tell this story a lot. There's a friend at my church who was from Zimbabwe. And he says, you all Jamaicans don't know how much your music in South Africa and Zimbabwe has influenced us. It was our Sunday music, he said. and it was the music that made us feel like we were liberated, like we were free. And we as Jamaicans don't realize or appreciate the way our music has touched the world. So that's very interesting that you say that. How about the music? Is the music there also in Zambia, the reggae music, or because I know in Ghana
You hear your reggae, you hear your dancehall, you hear your lovers rock, you hear everything. I hear more popular Jamaican music here than in a lot of other places. And just from a historical point of view, if memory serves me right, Zambia was actually in northern Rhodesia, so they did have their own struggles with apartheid too. So I'm sure a lot of what your Zimbabwean friend shared, it's the same thing that happened here as well.
And you hear it, as I said, he knew songs. He and like the gentleman may have gotten Trench Town wrong, but at least he was in the range.
Exactly. And I mean, I think that's one of the things. I mean, I love my music and I really love my Jamaican music. But I think when you see other countries, and we know that other countries appreciate our music, but to have someone tell you just how much of a difference it makes in person, it really makes you feel good. It does. Yeah.
Good. So Denise, if a Jamaican or anyone was to come to Zambia, what's the one place, one attraction you would tell them, or you must see, or a place you must visit? Could be anything. What would you tell them?
Hands down, it would have to be Victoria Falls. Hands down. It's about a 7-hour drive outside of the capital city, Lusaka. And in fact, it's in Livingston. Livingston has its own international airport. But even if you're in Zambia for a day, you have to go and see Victoria Falls. And of course, I had studied about Victoria Falls when I was doing geography and what have you. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world. But to see Victoria Falls in full flow, it is absolutely mind-boggling and breathtaking. It actually spans 2 countries. So there's the Zambian side and there's the Zimbabwean side. And the fascinating thing about it is that it is a part of the Zambezi River. Some of you may have heard about the large Zambezi River, which actually goes through, I think if memory serves me correct, about 14 African countries. But when you see Victoria Falls, no, definitely. If you only have one day in Zambia, that's where you have to go.
All right. So what advice would you give to someone who's considering, a Jamaican or anyone considering moving there to Zambia? What advice would you give them? What's the one thing you'd say to them?
Jump on the plane and come. No, I mean, I think Zambia has a lot to offer as a country, as a people. I think one of the things that I do like about I do feel a lot more comfortable in West Africa because I think the West African characters are more like us in terms of personalities and they're more dramatic. But Zambia has a quiet, cool elegance with a lot of art, a lot of music, a lot of culture, a lot of nature that I never enjoyed before in the other countries that I've lived in and that I'm really beginning to appreciate here. I think come with an open mind as you would go to anywhere else. And it's funny, I've met quite a bit of Caribbean people here, including other Jamaicans. There is one Jamaican couple who has actually been living here since the 1970s. They came shortly after Zambia's independence and have worked and retired here, and they love it as well. So it's a peaceful country, fascinating people, fascinating history. The food not too hot and not too much into the Zambian food because them don't cook with spices, but other things, come, jump on the plane and come.
So, so, so you said it don't cook with spices?
Boy, I'm not even know if them cook with black pepper, no spice, no nothing.
That
And
is surprising. That is surprising.
yes,
Um, very
it is.
surprising.
It
You
is.
know, you brought up a point about the way, that you are able to relate because they're dramatic and whatever. My kids said to me, my kids are Jamaican American, okay?
Mhm.
And so they said, boy, we dramatic and whatever. And it's funny you say that because, I visited Nigeria and you saw that demeanor, and in visited Ghana, you kind of saw some of that demeanor. So you're saying you can you see the drama, you see the way they react to things, is what you're talking about, just like
Yeah,
us.
yes. Zambia is a little bit more conservative. Not dead, but conservative, unlike West Africa, I think. In Ghana and Liberia, there's always drama. Even when there's no drama, it is still dramatic.
So again, it's just great hearing the connection, between, just that connection. It's one of the things that I absolutely love. I have to come and see you. You have convinced me. I have to come out there.
And when we will take the nice thing about Zambia too is that Zambia is surrounded by 9 countries, so quite a bit of other countries to visit. And there is one gentleman in Malawi who I'm planning to go visit for the simple reason that him have a couple dozen ackee tree. So that is going to be my next road trip as soon as COVID is over because I need some ackee. They don't grow it here, and I want some ackee. So yeah, first talking, and he sent me pictures of the ackee the other day. So it's not a figment of his imagination. Going for my ackee.
So my last question is this, and maybe you just gave the answer already. What about Jamaica you miss the most?
Yeah, the food. I miss my food. I miss my patty. I miss my patty. If I could have just wake up and have one patty today, I would be happy. I miss the food. I mean, apart from the food, I miss the people. I miss my family, of course. I think living in Zambia, I'm a little bit further away, so it's going to take me on average about 36 hours to reach home. Um, Something that I'm not looking forward to. I've never sat on a flight for 17 hours, but from South Africa to Atlanta is 17 hours. I miss the people. I don't think anybody else's drama is as nice as Jamaican drama. And I always tell people who when we talk about things like that, is that you can just have the most interesting conversations with any Jamaican anywhere you go. And I miss that. I miss the people. I miss I miss home. I do.
Well, we're going to have to get you some ackee and some seeds so you can plant, because I'm sure if you plant it, it will grow. Uh,
Yes, yes.
and I know yellow yam. Well, I know when I was in Nigeria, yellow yam was nothing. It was a white yam. And maybe you can find your yellow yam fine,
We
or
don't we don't have yam here. In fact, if I need more West African, Jamaican type food, then there is what's called a Tuesday market with a
Mhm.
lot of vendors from Tanzania coming over. So I can get plantain at that market, I can get cocoa, I can get green banana, I can get coconut, mangoes. So yeah, but it don't taste the same. It don't have the Jamaican flavor.
So, Denise, I want to thank you for providing the great information. We'll have to get you some ackee. We'll have to get you some patty. We have to figure out how we're going to get that done. If anybody watching this is near Denise in Zambia, you have to link her and get her all this stuff. Um, you know, any closing thoughts?
I just think, Xavier, I also want to say thank you. I think this is a fascinating project, and I'm so glad that you're doing it, because I think there's still so many stereotypes about other places in the world, including the African continent. And for every one of the countries you can visit on the continent, each is just unique and fascinating. So thank you very much for allowing me to share some of my insights on Zambia. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks again, Denise. And we will definitely catch up. All right. Take care, my dear. Have a great one.
Bye.
Show us some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.